Hello, everyone. Whoever's Don, hello, dear. Where have you been? Don says, hello, my love. Hope you are well. I'm off work tonight, so finally caught your live streaming. How is life treating you? Thank you very much, Don. We've been busy with the Valentine's live streaming since Friday. We had a Friday noon, we had a Friday night, we had a Saturday noon, we had a Saturday night. Did we? Did we have a Saturday night? We did have a Saturday night. I believe we did. We had four, and this is the fifth one, I believe. So hopefully we are doing some kind of a good positive work and helping some people around at this time of the year, a festive celebration of some kind. So Rith Thing says hi, hello there. And don't forget, guys, we need the protocol, the gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That helps me out a little bit to know who I'm talking to, since I cannot see you guys and cannot measure the age, how to word my sentences based on appropriate respond to the certain age, and it would also give me that knowledge if you're here with the permission of your guardians or not. So, Don, go ahead. I just want to make sure you guys are not underage, for heaven's sake. Who knows? Oh, well. So, and Rith Thing. Now, what is that Rith Thing? Is that a name, or is it something that I don't know what it means? The thing I know cannot be a name, but Rith. Okay. And Rith says, I'm 19 from Romania. Oh, that could be a name, because from that neck of the wood, names are different. So, he says, and you didn't say if you're male or female. Rith, see, gender, age, and where you're tuning from. So I know from Romania, 19-year-old male. Thank you for that. So Rith says, do you think that I really need a bachelor or another degree to enter in the animation business? Very good question. I don't really want to be the animator, but I'd rather be the one with the plans. Meaning, with the plans, meaning the scenario, what the story, is that what you're trying to say? I'll just say hello to the others. I'll get back to you, Rith, until you answer, so I can understand a little bit more. Steven says, hello, Mehran. Steven, male, 39, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. Don says, no, Lola, I have been single for 18 years, so Valentine's is a very distant memory. All right. Okay. Big Gravy Camry says, hi. Hello, Big Gravy. Big Gravy, where'd you get that name? Big Gravy says, I've never been in here before. Does this get sexual or not? Okay, Big Gravy, are you going to be a troll here? If you are, please do us a favor, because if I really find out you're a troll, I really mess with your head, and I don't think you like that. So, do me a favor, if you're here to learn or share some real life matters, you're welcome, as everybody else is. But if you're here just to make it disrespectful or make comments of this sort and, play around, then I'll just figure it out. Just like Charles, who is here. Charles tried once before, and I gave him a timeout, and I will not hesitate to do again. And that's the least I will do. Before I give you timeouts, I really make you feel really bad, and I don't want to do that, because this is supposed to be a channel to help people. But if I feel that you guys are here to be a menace and to bring negativity to this group, you have no idea how I can really play with your heads. So, what will it be? You guys going to behave, or you going to be here for a laugh? I can make you laugh. I can make you laugh after you actually sign off. Laugh at your life and laugh at where you have come to be. Don't turn that on. Now, Charles says, I don't know what he says. Big Gravy says, I'm not a troll, was just trying to get an idea of the type of stream. All right. If that is truth, I will answer you. Big Gravy, we are not here to be funny or try to be sexual for fun's sake. This is a channel where you have over 1,600 videos that if you've gone through a breakup, emotional hardship, you can get help and support from it and understand why your psyche behaves the way it does, the connection between your thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, pleasure, and all these things that have a role in the way you negotiate your daily life and how you handle your or affected through these emotional experiences. And of course, we have used all that knowledge and basic information and use it to help people with the way they are dealing with their relationships, breakups, and how sad they may be, and help them to move on and become happy, healthy, and balanced, and go on to bigger and better things. This is what we are here now. There could be discussions about experiences that people have on their personal level, but there is no intention of discussing inappropriate matters or things that are just simply for fun. And Charles, same thing to you. Last time I wasn't amused. So you guys conduct yourselves accordingly. If you are, which I think, Charles, you are. You know that. Now, let's go back to Rith. Rith says, I mean the ones who create the stories and the characters. Yes. Well, look, in animation, I think it would help at least for you to know what are the basics and what are the what's involved in creating a story that animation can deliver it. So for that purpose, at least, you would need to have a course or two. And who knows, maybe when you get involved in learning that, you may become really interested to, learn more about it and get more involved in the other aspects of animation. It's a big world, animation, and it's amazingly interesting. So, but if you just want someone to tell you, no, you don't have to study to get where you want to get, well, that's not going to happen here, because everything we do in this world, it needs hard work, knowledge, and everything else. So, I hope that gives you a little bit of a pointer. Steven says, there's lots of static in the background audio. Is there? Is there? Let me fix that. Give me a moment. I'll just redo this. Is it any better, Stephen? Oh, it stopped. Now I should have read the next line before I got up. But anyhow, it's fixed now, I guess, if there was anything. And Zero Way says, hello, good sir. Hello, Zero. Good. We know you got to change that name, Zero. Why don't you at least say one? One way. We start from something. Abdul Razzaq Al-Hamout. Abdul Razzaq Al-Hamout says, I'm together with a girl. I am 21 and she is 19. I'm a Muslim and she is a Christian Arab. her parents are completely against the idea of their only daughter, only child, marrying a Muslim. All right. Well, I mean, as far as I know, most of the Arab nations, majority of the people living in Arab nations are Muslim. So they might want to change the country so they will have more of a numbers game, so their daughter would meet other people from other religions. But as the statistics goes, there would be more chance to meet a Muslim boy in a Muslim country, Muslim majority country. So perhaps they should be focusing on your character rather than your religion, because maybe some Muslims don't like their daughter to be involved with, or their children, son or daughter, be involved with Christians or Jewish or Hindus or Buddhist. And then in some of the countries, the Christian parents wouldn't want their children to be involved with a Muslim or Jewish or Hindu or Buddhist, or another country, the Jewish parents would not be interested for their children to be involved with Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists and so on. So if we want to focus on the differences, we'll always be able to find lots of differences in all different tangents. But why don't we focus on the commonalities, the behavior, the positive attitude towards life, what we want to accomplish here. Regardless of what religion you carry or you believe in or you follow, you're here for a positive purpose, for a purpose to affect the rest of the society in a positive manner. That is the commonality we should focus on. If you behave well each other, if you treat each other well, all these religions supposedly talk about love and kindness and honesty and so on. So really, all of them are trying to do the same thing, say the same things. There could be some anomalies here and there, but that has nothing to do with the actual religion. It has to do with that persona, that person, the way that that person runs his or her life, and their outlook on life and their duty and responsibility towards the other people in this world. So I guess it would be best if they would focus on you, who you are, how you treat their child, their daughter, and so on. Perhaps that would warrant a good visit from you to them, and just introduce yourself, talk about who you are, what you want to do, and so on and so forth. Let them to get to know you through you, and through the actions and the reactions and interactions that you have with them, rather than the stereotype that they might have about Muslims or Christians or Jews or Buddhists or Hindus. And let them get to know you, and you get to know them. Maybe after you get to know them, you say, "Hey, I don't want to have anything to do with the family," with a person who has a family like that. Or you might actually be impressed. So let yourselves to get to know each other, the real you, not what you read or follow. And we have Get Up Again. This is 23 Brandon, London. Thank you for that, Brandon. It says, I still stalk my ex. Don't do that. On social media. Don't do that. Still trying to get over the situation. Well, you can't get over a situation if you're constantly trying to, follow the situation. It's like keep saying, I shouldn't eat cake. I shouldn't eat cake. I shouldn't eat cake. Well, every time you're saying, you're thinking about cake, right? Why don't we just focus on, let's say, fruit? And you just say, I gotta eat fruit. I gotta eat fruit. And that way, you are focusing on fruit. And at the same time, you're not focusing on what you're not supposed to be focusing. So let yourself pay attention to your life. Focus on what it is you want to accomplish, the things that you're interested in and you're set out to accomplish, the plans that you have in life, education, career, whatever it is. While you're focused on that, naturally and automatically, you will not be focusing on her or stalking her or, forgetting the situation. So because that will happen by default. And he says, she broke up with me in November. I'm doing much better, but remnants of thoughts are still there. Well, they will be there. You're a human being. Why do you expect all of a sudden you should be forgetting the whole thing that you just had a experience with? This is what we are. We remember things. We record things 24/7. Human being records things. But understanding recording is not an actuality. You cannot build anything on memory. Then you will realize that you should pay attention to the actuality of life. Otherwise, while you're facing this way and keep looking that way, you're going to crash into a wall. The same thing, if you're facing life and you keep thinking your memory, you will miss the living, because living is about the actuality, is about what's happening, the happening of the moment. And if the happenings of the moment for you is all constantly daydreaming and you're in your memory, well, then you are among the information that is no longer alive. Memory is past. Memory is dead. It's a non-existence events. You just have a recording of it. And if you're constantly in there, living in the memory, which is death of the past, therefore your living, what you call living, will be death of the past, and you will miss the whole opportunity of living. And that is what you should be focusing on. And Abdul Razak says, but I can't let go. Well, listen, you know what? Often there are things that we say, I can't let go, or I can't do this. But that's the only way to salvation. Let's say you have a certain kind of a minor illness. Doctor gives you a certain medicine, and you say, oh, it's so bitter, I can't eat it. I can't eat. Well, yeah, but you got to. If you want to get well, you got to. It doesn't matter if you can't, or it tastes bad, or this and that, or it's unfamiliar, or it's unpleasant. But you got to do it because that's the right thing. There are many things in life that you might not want to do, but you got to because that's the right thing. You know, you might be lazy and want to watch a movie, but you got to study because tomorrow is the exam. So what is it? Are you going to go with the can't, don't, want to, or are you going to go what is actually going to bring you the best results and something that you actually have to, better to do? So you got to make those judgments properly rather than just, oh, I don't. Well, why you can't do it? Why can't you see what's good for you, what's not good for you? So you can't let go, but it is good for you to let go. So let go. Simple. Oh, you're talking about the situation that you have with her parents. Well, listen, as I mentioned, maybe you make an appointment with them and go see them face to face, and don't go there crying or begging or this and that. Don't do that. Just go there like a man and be confident, and don't be there to beg for anything. You have to have a good impression left there. Go there, but I don't know what's traditional there, some flowers and some sweets or whatever it is, the tradition there. Dress nicely and go in there and sit down and introduce yourself. Say, the reason I'm here, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, is because I wanted to introduce myself to you, and I want to get to know each other, and perhaps you would allow me to present myself the way I am, rather than based on what some families do or do not like about the other families, based on what the differences. And instead, I want to focus on the commonalities that we have. We're all human beings. We're all from good families. We're all trying to make things make this world to be a better place. And so I'm here just to let you know and see me, rather than judging me based on what perhaps you traditionally don't like or don't agree with. Simple like that. Don't make it a big speech. Just be there and be pleasant. Let them see you. You don't have to really exchange too much words. Just a little bit of the things, and it's a beginning. And then go on and see what happens. And we'll talk about it later, maybe another discussion. And Big Gravy Cumbry says, thanks for the response, Lola, and I see you like my nickname. Yeah, it's. I wonder where you got that nickname. Steven says, I'm glad Valentine's Day has passed. Been feeling kind of lonely this weekend, but I'm okay. Well, guys, you can't blame me for that, can you? Because I actually made 5 live talks, so none of you will be lonely. And I hope that has had something to do with easier passing of this festive day, so to speak. And of course, we are still hardly found on YouTube. So we would hope to have 15 or 13,000 participants on any of these live talks because, of course, they're free. And as you all know, it's now number 432, I believe. And it's been helpful for years for many, of course, with no charge, which is the best part. Now, we go for Peter Herbert. Says, hello, sir. Do you think a relationship with a girl 28 years younger than me can be successful? How old are you? Peter? Remember, guys, I need the protocol. Gender, age, where you're tuning in from. If you don't have it, please then don't blame me if I jump over your question and go to the next until I get that. So I want to know your gender, your age, and where you're tuning in from. It gives me a little bit of a background. And Don says, hugs, Stephen. Okay, good. You're talking to him. Rit thinks says, thanks for the response. My pleasure. Abdullah Habib says, are you Jewish? No, I'm not Jewish. But that is something that is not really necessarily up to every individual when we're born. Whatever our parents are, I guess that's what we would be. I basically don't run my life based on religion. I believe in the intelligence of the universe, the energy that has made us, bound us, passes through us and makes us function as energy is everything. And the nature is the creator, universe is the creator. And there is no particular way. So all religions are good in my eyes, and all religions, if it's misused, could be bad. So it depends really how you try to get your benefits, your lessons from the religions. They're all trying to help you to become a better person. That's where I look at it. And the fact that they're all at each other's neck, it's the misunderstanding that that is not the purpose of religions. They never try to be against other religions, especially the 5 major religions. It's the human being that makes some interpretations that becomes negative, and they're trying to make it look like as we are the best if we are Christian or Buddhist or Jewish or Muslim or Hindu. There is no best. It's just a path to enlightenment and become a better person. So, and let's see. Casanova says, Mehran, the survivor is here. What happened? What do you mean survivor? Abdul Razak says, sir, some people do not care. No character can make up for religion. We really have no future, but we really do love each other. Do you think that what makes the love so good is because it's not allowed? Not really. I think you guys have gotten to know each other and you have this passion toward each other. You have the interest of to getting at that, and especially at that age, which I believe you said you're. How old are you? You're 19. You're 21, and she's 19. You know, Abdul Razak, you are very young. 21 years old. Have no business to think about marriage. 19-year-old. Well, yeah, in that neck of the wood, 19-year-old girls are supposedly encouraged to get married and all that. But even that, it's too early. You guys got to get to know who you are first. I mean, without really knowing who you are, how you're put together, what you're all about, and you're still advancing and developing and growing and experiencing life, how can you really know what you want when you don't really know who you are, what you are? All you know is about the experiences of the past and where you are, and those whole, all the emotions that are new, and especially about a girl that you're in love with, and it makes you all amazing feelings, and can't think any further than that. How about where you're going to be going in education, in career, in what you want to accomplish in this world? What do you think will happen if you get married with this girl? Everything's going to be fixed in its own. No, you still have to go to work. You still have to have your role of your career, what you want to accomplish, to learn things, bring money home, and she has to go to work as well. I don't know if that's the tradition there, because I still don't know where you live. So what the tradition is as far as the women working or not, is it part of their rules or not? So all of that, I think you're still too early, too young for you and her to think about marriage. But if you want to, experience getting to know each other, well, great. But maybe it is good to think about what your parents eventually going to force yourselves to do. I mean, your parents might have a view and her parents have a view, and it could be something. So might as well introduce yourself to them, and if that works, great. If it doesn't, then it would be a time that you might decide, okay, she's eventually going to listen to them. She's not going to be following you, and she's going to break up with you because the parents were going to insist on that, and you're going to be brokenhearted. But then you can handle it anyhow if that comes to that. Just be prepared for that, and understand that if this doesn't work, well, it's not because you guys didn't want it to work. The parents are interfering. And unless you're educated and you have a job and so on, that you can just, go and live your lives together, well, then you can't do it for now, right? You're 21. So why don't you guys just focus on your studies and make a life, build a life, and who knows, maybe a few years from now, you both would be independent and would not have to really focus on what the wishes of the parents are on that particular subject. So, now Peter hasn't responded back to what I asked. Abdul Razak says, the thing is, we are both law students here in Denmark. Ah, you live in Denmark. All right. Both Arabs. She's a Christian from Iraq, very religious parents. I'm a Muslim. Muslim. You're double Muslim? What does that mean? Muslim, Muslim. With very religious parents. Should we move away? Well, honestly, I don't think you guys should move away, because regardless of religion, you guys have found each other's, and you are trying to perhaps, hopefully, connect on the bond on the consciousness level, understand each other's mind, and understand that you both got to be lenient about your religions if you ever were given the chance to come together. You can't be forcing your religion on her. She can't be forcing her religion on you. You should both have, your freedom of religion, and your children would be exposed to both religions, and they should be able to practice both, or at least be familiar with both, until the age they want to choose. If they want to choose to any religion, they should be able to have the freedom to choose any of them. So, let's see, where were we? Peter says she's 27 years. I'm from Germany. Well, she's 27 years old, and you say that she's 28 years older than you. How could that work? Younger than you. You say, hello, sir, do you think a relationship with a girl 28 years, oh, I think you mean she's 28 younger than me, or 28 years younger than me, can be successful. And then you say she's 27. I'm not getting it. Perhaps you mean she's 28 years old and you're 27. I don't know. Or you're 28, she's 27. Maybe you can let me know a little bit more clear. So, what else do we have here? Gravy says, hello, James. Okay, talking to James. Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak says, the day we love each other. Okay. Let's see. Abdul Habib says, thoughts on addiction. I think I have a video on addiction, Abdul Habib. Why don't you go on my search engine on the channel and just put in the word addiction and see what comes up. And otherwise, it'll be a long discussion here. I want to have a little bit shorter discussions on the questions. James says, Abdul, I think you should elope, run away, and never come back. James, behave, man. And Big Gravy says, I've been sitting here stewing. Why did you threaten me earlier? We should clear the air because I'm annoyed. Well, because it wasn't a threat. It was a promise that if you are a troll and you're trying to disturb the rhythm of our discussion, because that is how I felt, I just let you know that it won't be tolerated. There was no threat. The threat was that don't do that. I don't like it. Now, if you're not a troll, great, you're welcome here, as I mentioned before. But it looks like that I'm not too far off, because you will find out. Maybe you're not. But we know that James is, and I'm just watching him, making sure he's not taking too much of our time. As soon as I notice that, I'll just simply put a timeout on him. James says, I have always found it's better to run away from a problem rather than face it. You see, James, you're being a nuisance already. And let's read some of James's thing just so that you guys will see that I wasn't dreaming. I know a little bit about these trolls. James says, you run away with her, Abdul. If the family doesn't approve, you steal her from them. You see? And then you will be a winner. Don't listen to this dauber. He thinks mad piss, Pat Pish. I don't know. You see, I wasn't wrong. Everybody now knows that. And James says, Abdul, if she won't run away with you, bro, she's not the one for you. Okay, James, I think you better just listen and be quiet here. Or maybe people just ignore him. James says, I'm running a separate advice service in the chat in between points because we are getting old here, lol. All right. Obviously, Big Gravy and James are having their own little advice session. That's wonderful. So let's now focus on Gravy a little bit, just for fun. Gravy says, I was dating a girl on and off. By the way, Gravy is talking to James, like he's seeking advice from James, because James says, ask away, guys. And Big Gravy says, okay, James. And here it is. So they have this preset, I guess, scenario. And he says, I was dating a girl on and off for 10 years, but she stopped talking to her. She stopped talking to her? What does that mean? Because I wasn't satisfying her mentally and physically, and now she has a new man. I've been depressed ever since. All right. We all know where this goes. Ishan says, hello there, wise man. Well, thank you for that. And James answers Gravy. Now, let's check this out, guys. James says, well, Gravy, I think the only thing you can do is one of two things. You either get on with your life, find a purpose and drive and motivate you and become your best self and fulfill your three potential. That wasn't bad. Or, continues, James says, or you find out where they will be and absolutely demolish the man physically. See? Now, this is where I will draw the line. Demolish the man physically with your fists in front of her, therefore asserting your dominance, and she will basically beg you to. Okay, now, James, you are now encouraging violence. This is against our rules, and I'm going to kick you out. And if I ever see you come back here, I will do the same immediately. I will put you on timeout. And Gravy, you are also on timeout because your answer is, thanks, James. Your advice is good, which means you guys are collaborating and you're both trolls. Goodbye. All right. And Don made a comment which I missed where it stemmed from, but I'm sure Don had the right judgment. She says, if someone is asking a genuine question and wanting advice, support, it is not nice to be called offensive names. Just my opinion. I guess I missed that wherever it was. Anyhow, I timed them out. And Don says, thank you, Mehran. You're quite welcome. Finally, trolls are out. Yeah, I know. I can sense them. These idiots simply think that they can fool us. We've had our share of trolls. We know how they look like. We know how they talk. And everything about them is foul and waste of life. Obviously, they don't have a life. And they're trying to make some. And they don't have abilities to create their own little whatever it is that they enjoy, and they come on and start disturbing other people's rhythm of life. So we got rid of him, and if they come back, I'll get rid of him again, and I'll block him. And then if they so, then we'll report them. Because, James, you're listening, understand that you incite violence here. You encouraged violence here. That is going to be against the law, against the rules, and you can be actually charged, legally charged by the authorities. So if I've ever seen you on this channel talk like this again, I will personally report you, not just to the authorities of YouTube, but also to the police. So that's the end of such behavior on this channel. All right. Now, Peter says she's 27 years old and I'm 55 years old. Ah, what did you say from the beginning? Sprech. So I could understand. I wouldn't have to fish for the understanding of the. All right, listen, she's 27-year old, you're 55. If you guys hit it off and she loves you and you love her, you can bond on conscious level, you can be in harmony, why not? Try it. Not a problem. But be aware that at age 27, she might be infatuated with the idea that you're an older man, you're experienced, you're settled, and you're knowledgeable, educated, somehow you have impressed her. And she likes to perhaps take a shortcut of feeling mature and be with someone who's already mature, so she would also feel she's more. That kind of a motivation is not necessarily a guarantee for a good, long-lasting relationship or a compatible relationship. And you, on the other hand, 55 years old, you are just infatuated with her beauty or her youth and perhaps sexuality that, of course, you can't think any further. But lo and behold, when you are 60, she's just a 32. And she may actually leave you for a younger guy to have better sex, to have more compatibility on similar wavelength of the mind at that age, and you will be feeling very depressed. But if you're willing just to enjoy a 5 year or 6 years or whatever it lasts, and you're aware of these consequences, and you are having a good, cordial, honest relationship at the time, at least seems like, well, go ahead, enjoy yourself, but be prepared. Don't feel hurt if it didn't go the way you thought, because it is always possible that younger girls at this age are attracted to an older man for many different reasons, but when they become a little bit older, they would want to have someone maybe closer to their age so they can continue having a story that would suit their style of thinking, and no longer interested to be feeling mature because they already would feel mature at their own age. So that's my thinking. Let's see what happens. And Jaidan X Young, I'm not sure what you mean by your comment, Jaidan. It's not something that, maybe it's something inwards, I don't know, but it's not appropriate using that word or language, even though I'm sure you don't, I feel you don't mean it in a derogatory way, but it is best if you don't use it, even though if it's within your own group or it's supposed to have some positive connotations, but it's not going to be looked upon that if it's used in a public forum, because it could be misunderstood. So I suggest perhaps you would refrain from that. Jaidan X Young, which I don't know really how to pronounce it. Abdul Razak says, sir, the problem is we are in the same class at university, and seeing her every day makes it impossible for me to get over her, even if I tried. How do you say I can get over a girl seeing constantly? Well, because you got to see beyond what you see in front of you. You got to see it with the eye of consciousness, not the eye of desire. You're looking at it with the eye of desire, therefore there is not further you can go, no deeper than desire, pleasure, quickly. They're interrelated. And then, of course, the ego is the one that is pulling the strings on the two puppets of desire and pleasure. So you will hardly have a chance to go any deeper than that. But if you focus on the eye of consciousness and understand what it really is going to entail for you in the future, that you're too young right now, she is too young, she's eventually going to listen to her parents most probably, and then if you guys are together longer, You're going to get even deeper in there with all kinds of thoughts in your mind, and you're going to feel really hurt when eventually she will tell you that I have to listen to my parents. That wouldn't be good, is it? So I want you to realize what standards you should expect from a candidate to be your girlfriend or for your wife, and then figure out if this particular person, other than your infatuation or your relationship with her at this moment, which is based on physical attraction mostly, does she have anything else that makes her qualify? Because in your neck of the wood, and the way you explained your families, there are lots of other things you got to consider in order to choose a suitable candidate for your girlfriend or for your wife. Just realize there is not just one good woman in this world, and there is not just one good human being that you can see in her. There are many billions of amazing women around the world. At this time, you happen to know this one. And who knows that if you don't get to know somebody else, you wouldn't, maybe you'll think, oh, she's amazing too. And even more amazing, this one. Why? Because I was 21. I was choosing my girlfriend based on what my knowledge and experience and expectations at age 21 was. But now that I'm 25, 24, I expect differently because I am a different person. My consciousness has moved and changed, modified, grown, expanded. Therefore, my expectations of my mate, my girlfriend, my wife, future wife will be different as well. So I'm looking for someone with more and different qualities. Therefore, you can see that there are a lot more qualified women for you at older age than you can think. She is the one right moment, at this moment. Okay. Jaidang X Young says, shout me out. Okay, you're a troll, so bye-bye for you. I don't have time for that bullshit. All right. What are these guys? Don't have anything to do? Abdul Razak says, I very much appreciate all your content, sir. You deserve more recognition. I know, but we don't get it, do we? It's not in the cards, is it? Now Charles is coming back as Sabri Goktep or something. Emmanuel says, hello, Mehran. Hello. I don't know if this thumbnail is the same. Big, whatever it is. Gravy's coming back. Okay, you take another break, Gravy. We don't want you here. And same thing with you. Yeah. Same picture, different name. Let's give him or her a benefit of the doubt and see what comments he or she makes. Then we'll cut him out. The same picture. If it's the same person, I wonder if these people have anything better to do. They're just, I guess, leeches trying to be noticed by becoming a nuisance, which I guess that represents what their life is all about. Yes, Emmanuel, we're dealing with trolls of some kind, but, you know, they're no match for us. We'll destroy them. Casanova says, Mehran, you missed my question. All right, let's go to your question. Casanova says, 26 male Beijing. Oh my goodness. Are you in China actually? Or you are just from there, but you live in a different country right now? Where are you reaching us from? Casanova says, 26 male Beijing. You have helped me a lot, he says. It's been 5 months since I left cheating ex. I don't know why my family is pushing for a marriage. Peter Herbert says, thank you. You're quite welcome, Peter. Casanova continues, says, they want to select a random girl based on beauty and want me to get married, and I don't want anyone whom I don't know. Well, you don't have to get married. You can just get to know them and see what it is. Mm-hmm. And you know that you can tell your parents that, parents, thank you for your efforts. I really appreciate the fact that you really want me to, you're looking after me and introducing like pretty girls to me. So you want me to have a pretty wife. But you can also say that as much as it's wonderful, but being pretty is not enough, because the relationship, it doesn't flourish based on pretty. Pretty is not wisdom. Pretty is not intelligence. Pretty is not smart. Pretty is not a solid ground to build anything on. Pretty is a passing breeze. What you can use to build a relationship is consciousness. So say, I got to get to know this pretty face to see what this pretty face is entailed. Who owns this pretty face? That's the one that I will have a relationship with. And who owns is her consciousness. So just someone being pretty is not going to help to have a long-lasting relationship, because relationships are never put together or come to be between the two faces. It's between the two consciousnesses. So it's not with the pretty, it's with the mentality. So perhaps that's what you can focus on as when you talk to your parents. Abdul Razak says, do you recommend that I break up with her then? What should be my next move if we have given up on a future? She wants to just enjoy the moment, and so do I. But it's at the back of the head. Well, I really don't know what her views on this thing are. I am only hearing your views. Are you telling me that she's not interested to be your girlfriend at the time? She's already giving you the hints that this is not going to work and we should break up. If that's the case, definitely do break up with her and move on. Focus on your studies and focus on other friends. And there's this girl is as amazing as she could be at your age. What you think she is, it's just one woman, one human being, one entity, just like anyone else. She could be this way or that way, or intelligent or not, and she could also modify and change through the time. So it's not like her or nothing. Obviously, things are not necessarily in your favor or in her favor. Therefore, you can simply find out what she thinks, what she wants to do. If you both want to be together a little bit, but knowing that it will not get where you hope it would get to marriage, then stay together. But if you think that she's saying things that you know it's not according to what you're hoping for, then it's time to break it up and focus on your life and get other acquaintances and see new friends and establish relationships on that. And I have a video on that note. If you go and say working in the same office, it's the same as being in the same class, or classroom, just the word classroom, or office. It should bring those videos that I've made, that if your ex and you are working at the same office, or if your ex is the same classroom that you are, how you should behave. These sort of things can help you to just, those videos can maybe shed some more light on you. If you are broken up and you're still in the same class, if you're broken up and you work at the same office, that's the kind of thing. Abdul Razak says she knows that it's impossible for a future unless I convert to Christianity, which is a no-go, but she wants to be together for now, knowing that there is no future. Well, then be together. What's What's the hurry? You will naturally, at a certain time, mark my words, you will naturally both want to move on because you're too young for expecting that you will continue liking each other for long years. Maybe you will end up 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, but eventually it's going to break up because you're getting to know each other or to start a relationship with each other at this very young age, which you really are not quite clear who you are, what kind of girlfriend, or in her case, what kind of boyfriend she wants. But you're still together because you have this interest right now. But as you grow, your taste and your criteria will change. And naturally, within a year or two or a few years, you won't want to be together. So this problem of not, being able to get married because of the parents' way of thinking will fade away by itself. It will resolve itself. But if it's something difficult for you, well, then you can just understand that this is what's going to happen in a few years. Let's make it happen now. It's all up to you guys. It's going to resolve itself. So it's not like a big, huge problem. You shouldn't be looking at it as a problem. You should look at it as an experience that you're going through, and you're going to be wiser, more experienced coming out of this. Casanova says these days Beijing is in complete lockdown. We can't go out of our homes and shops are closed. We order food online. I pray the virus goes away fast. Police patrol the roads so we don't get out. Oh, I pray for that as well. I pray for this terrible plague, so to speak, to die on its own and disappear and leave us earthlings alone. And Casanova says, I'm glad I got out a month ago. Oh, you are? I don't know. Are you still there or not? Because your last paragraph was saying that you're ordering online. So I don't know what you mean when you say, I'm glad I got out a month ago. Got out where? I thought Wuhan is the one that is locked down. Beijing as well? And Peter says, additional question to my first one. Go ahead, Peter. Says, as I said, she's 27, I'm 55. Last year, her daddy died. She's from Vietnam, but born and raised in Germany. She now is a teacher, but moved back to her mother. Moved back to her mother. Her mother doesn't accept our relationship. Yeah, of course. And obviously the mother is not thinking with her hormones like you and her. But at the same time, if she loves you or likes you and you love her or like her, which, I can see why in both cases, well, then it's between you and her. And it's going to be tasking on you trying to prove yourself as a 55-year-old man, mature man, to a woman who is the mother of your girlfriend who wants to be against this relationship. It's going to be a little bit tense, tasking, and not fun. So you might say, okay, you're with your mother and we'll just see each other outside. You don't have to try to be in their family or prove that you got to get married with her, this and that. Just don't fall into that. Your desire is going to make a slave out of you to the tune that you're going to be dancing to the tune of the mother. That is not healthy either. Neither the relationship is foolproof because of the possible future of it and the change of mind on her case, and perhaps even you might say at certain age that, let's say 60, you say, hey, I'm 60 years old, I want to have certain kind of a lifestyle, and I'm not really interested for a 32-year-old woman, because unless she's really a super girl that she really has bonded on consciousness level with you and she's not misbehaving or playing too young for you, or having a nose turned up that I'm so young and fresh and you're so old and all that bullshit, it's going to hurt you. So if none of that is the question and she's really genuinely interested, so stay together as long as she's, she's complying and she's being um, kind and genuine. And if not, then you guys say goodbye. That's the end of it. And you've enjoyed a few years that you didn't know where it's going to go, but now you know. But remember, at age 60 and up is going to be a little bit more challenging because you're very well deep into your world and matured and wise and expect certain things, and you're not going to be settling with any woman that comes around. And if you still want a younger woman, then it'll be rather challenging because you just wouldn't physically or mentally compatible. But at age 55, you will still have a wonderful chance to find a 40-year-old woman who is beautiful, in shape, great, wise, experienced, whatever that your criteria might be. So don't fall into the fact that she's 27, that's my chance, or amazing sex and this and that. Just go beyond that. But if that's what you're looking for, well, then be prepared that it may or may not work after a short while. Abdul Razak has sent us a super chat. That's, I guess, Danish money. That's 5. And thank you very much, Abdul Razak. Very kind of you. And every super chat, of course, helps the channel. Eventually, we'll be able to advertise more and more. And Abdul Razak just doubled down, and we have another 5. I don't know that currency, but whatever it is, we appreciate it, certainly. And Casanova says, Mehran, what do you mean when you say bonding on consciousness level? Well, that is when you need to watch one of the other videos that I have on the playlist called Psyche. And that is explained what consciousness is, what bonding on consciousness level means in many other videos I've discussed. Remember, the way our life is known to us is in many different parts, 2 of which is a physical portion of our entity and mental portion of our entity. And let's not discuss the rest, like energy and so on and so forth. So, what navigates you, do you think? Is it your legs, your face, your hands? What navigates you? What makes you do things that you do? Definitely it's not your hand or legs. So what is it then? It's your computer system, right? Where is the computer system? The computer system is right here, right? Inside here. The program that you have here. Where's that program coming from? From the conditionings that you have received since childhood. Where's those conditionings coming from? Well, from your ancestors, certain amount of that program is coming from the genes that you received coming from 1,000 years ago. and some of them are how your parents behaved with you and trained you. And then the books you read, the teachers you had, the laws and regulations in your society, the traditions and customs where you are raised, and the auntie's way of behaving with you, the movies you watched, the schools you went to, the people you came across, and different things that you've become exposed to. They all input that information in your computer. And based on that, that has become your core, your center of where the information is and where you function from. And that's your consciousness. Everything that you do, think, you like, dislike, all is up here based on your conditioning. And that conditioning, your consciousness, is having a relationship with the conditioning that somebody else has received in their consciousness. Because the consciousness is the persona, is who you are, not the way you look. So bonding on that level, meaning having compatibility on that level, understanding each other on the consciousness level, not just how beautiful she is, oh my goodness, I'm in love. That's not love, that's lust. So that is the train of discussion there, which I don't want to get into it because it's going to be much longer discussion. Don says, I need to go now, Mehran. Have a super week. Catch you again soon. Love you muchly. Take care. Thank you very much, Don. Love you too. And thank you for paying attention to us and supporting us by being here. Wish you well and hope to see you again. Abdul Razak says, you deserve more, but I am student. Okay, I appreciate that. Have a good night, sir, and thank you for your time. You helped a lot of people. Please do not stop. Some people drown in breakups, and you willingly help us. Legend. I thank you very much, dear Abdul Razak. And even you say it's not much, but the fact that you did what you could is very appreciated, and it means like if it's $5,000, and that's greatly appreciated. It's coming from your heart, and the fact that this channel is helpful in some ways to some people is really what makes me happy. Now, Emmanuel says, do you still walk at midnights? Not anymore. I do my thinking at home, especially in winter time. It's too wet sometimes and I get soaking wet. But I still do sometimes when I feel. And also my knee is a little bit not the way it was 2 years ago. So I'm kind of, even though no problem walking, but I don't know. So anyhow, I'm not. I'm mostly doing other things. Casanova said, what does it look like to bond on that level? It just means that you'll have a better understanding of that person, because when you bond unconsciously, that means you're aware of the conditionings they have received in their consciousness. That means who their persona, their center, who they are, you're focused on. And in order to understand that, you got to first understand and examine your own consciousness, meaning understand how your consciousness came about. What is your conditionings like in your consciousness? And what are the fragments of your consciousness? What do you understand of them? For example, what is fear? Where does fear come from? And I have videos on that tells you the end of fear. What is fear? Discusses that in the playlist Psyche. Or, for example, you want to find out what is desire. Where does desire come from? How is it born? What are the prerequisites for desire to take shape? And how to stop desire. When you understand these mechanisms, then you get to know yourself a little bit. Why I desire something. What are the things at work when I desire something? What is the relationship between my desire and fears? Where does fear come from? Where does consciousness come from? Where does thoughts come from? Thinking comes from. What is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness? Where does ego come to the picture? What is mechanical process? What is order in life? What are these all have to do with the way I think, act, and react in my life? Whether it's in a relationship, after a breakup, or whatever else it is that I'm facing with in life. When you understand these things about yourself, then you can pay attention and understand these things about the other person. If you don't understand these, if you don't bond or understand each other on consciousness level, then you will not understand why there is conflicts and divisions between you two. And at the same time, you will not have a real relationship between the two of you, because then you are not having a relationship with the actuality of each one of you, the truth of each one of you, which is the consciousness. And you will be thinking that you have a relationship between the two of you, while in fact that relationship is between the image you have of her in your mind and the image you have of you in your mind. And she has the image of you in her mind, and she has an image of herself in her mind. These two images are having a relationship. And you think that it is you guys, your center, your persona, your reality, your actuality is having a relationship with each other. This is not true. That's why often many of you say after a year or two in relationship, you break up and you say, why was I even with this person? Or you don't understand why suddenly you are not interested, because you never really knew each other. You only knew about each other's images, and the images were having a relationship. You see, we all have images every morning, every day for different things that we do during the day. We choose a different image, we dispose of that and choose a different image as we change scenarios and partitions of the day. For example, you get up and you go out for coffee, to buy a coffee for yourself on your way to work. You have an image of a shopper. And if you're working in a coffee shop, you have an image of a clerk. If you get on a bus to go to your school, you have an image of a passenger. If you happen to be driving the bus, you have an image of a bus driver. You get to school, you go to your class, you have an image of a student. If you happen to be teaching the class, you have an image of a teacher. You come back, go to work, you have an image of a clerk. If you own a place, you have an image of an owner of the business. You go to your parents, you have an image of a son or a daughter. You interact with your children, you have an image of a father or mother. All these images are constantly grabbed, adopted, and then let go when you go next hour to another part of your day and you need a different image. And you create images for other people based on what they wear, what they look, what money they have, how they're doing, what they say and all that. And then these two images of what you have an image of you in your mind and the image you have of somebody else, these two images are interacting, not basically purely as consciousness. But when you get in a relationship, if you're not careful, you will be having a relationship with the image between the two images, her image and your image. And she will be the same, her image and your image in her mind. But you hardly know each other because you never paid attention to what is it that has made you to be who you are. Where's your center? Where are your values? Where are your conditionings? And what is hers? And what is the role of, as we said, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, pleasure, mechanical process, order. And all of these have to do with the way you act, think, see, react, feel, the way you do. All right, having said that, let's see what else we have here. Ross says, good to see you, Mehran. Male 31 UK, Sunday night here in the UK, and I always get melancholy on a Sunday night. Another hard week ahead. I kind of feel empty as most of my friends have moved away. Make more friends. Just don't wait for them to move back. Make more friends. Make more friends. Go places that you like to go and be sociable, but not just allow just anybody come into your life, but just, be open for that so you can alleviate that void a little bit. And Ross says also no female in my life. And when I see someone I like in the gym or whatever, I feel like they don't want to speak to me. I'm an average guy, I guess. Well, yeah, okay. It's the same for everybody, that when you like some girl that you think she's real pretty, all of a sudden you think you're not good enough, because that's a normal way of somehow, hitting you. But you should build confidence yourself by knowledge of something, by things that you like to learn, by the profession that you have chosen, be good at it, by the studies that you're doing if you're studying, by whatever it is that you're interested, become good at it, research, and make that to become the source of your confidence. And then when you are facing some girl that you like, don't think of her beauty versus your desire to seek pleasure from getting to know her. Focus on the fact that what she does not have, which is what you have, which is knowledge about certain traits, certain studies, certain education, certain work, things that you feel that you got more above her, rather than only judging yourself based on your need for getting to know her and relationship and intimacy and so on. It is a natural thing to feel nervous when you see a beautiful girl, because it's like thousands of years ago when the caveman comes out of the cave and just has the urges, and no intelligence or no confidence of anything, just urges. And at that time, naturally would have simply acted on his urges, thinking that is nothing else but what he wants, pleasure. And he would just fulfill his life with food and pleasure and things. There's not much there to feel who he is. But nowadays, you should understand who you are before you um, diminish yourself in the presence of your desire. When you desire something, you find yourself weak because you don't have the patience to wait and pursue and then consider yourself worthy of that, because the desire kind of make you feel like, I want it, and then you won't even think what it is that you want. Just you want the pleasure, and you're focusing on the pleasure, not the qualifications of the person that you actually are getting involved with. And that is what betrays you. You got to go beyond that and don't look at just the physical attributes that a woman have. Expect more from that woman, because that woman deserves to be expected more from. Because that woman is not a woman 1,000 years ago that is only should be considered as a physical entity for intimacy. There's a lot more that woman that can accomplish today. Is wiser, smarter, more educated, capable of doing anything and accomplishing anything today. So look at her. Does she have those credentials? What is she accomplishing? What has she accomplished? What is she capable of doing? What does she bring to the table other than her body? Because her body has nothing to do with her. She was not responsible for that. She didn't do it. That's not an accomplishment for her. She was born with it. So that's not something that you think, oh, she has accomplished that, therefore she's more than me because look what she has accomplished. She's so beautiful. No, she didn't. That's given to her. So look at her from an eye of qualification. What is she bringing to the table? What has she done with her life? And based on that, if she hasn't done much for her life, she's not going to be able to do much for your life. So if you think that way, then you won't be so hesitant to think, oh, I'm so nervous to what? So you say hello. If she says hello back, you say, how's your training going? If she doesn't, well, then that means your cue. Go to the next one. Ross? All right. Ross says, life is hard. Just wish it was simple like in your teenage years. Things just seem to get harder each year. Not really. You can still, feel like everybody is this. Look, everybody at teenage time was a little, immature and growing. But those are the same people who are now a little bit more mature and growing. So you guys are all still pretty much in the same level. It's not like suddenly one of them has become, I don't know, a deity and you're still a human being. No, you're still a human being. They all have the same needs, and based on what they have made out of themselves, you judge them based on that, not judge them based on the desire you have for pleasure. That makes you to be at a disadvantage. Okay. Peter says, she wants to have children with me. Would you recommend that? Until now, I don't have children. Peter, I don't know what your job is, what your experience in life is, how settled you are, and the motivation that she might be having. I'm not sure of that. Maybe you like to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and make an appointment with me on Skype. Click on Talk to Mehran via Skype. Make an hour appointment, and I will throw in another appointment free, so you'll have 2 hours for that 1 hour. And we can really get into it by knowing lots of things interactively, and then together we explore it on Skype one-on-one. Otherwise, it's lack of information here, and I'm not sure really enough information is there for me to make a best opinion. Steven says, Mehran, even though I'm still not 100% moved on from this, I can always count on you and look forward to these live chats. You help so many people. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. And having said that, there are 9 of us here, so please click on like if you haven't, and click on subscribe if you haven't. Um, Stephen says, every day I keep a positive attitude and have good energy. I try my best to treat everyone respectfully and as if they were myself. Just can't stand people with such bad attitude and negativity. Of course, who does? And you shouldn't either. Just shun away all these people who are rude, arrogant, and think too much of themselves. Sometimes when you really are impressed by someone, or they're being rude, or they're in positions that you need to kind of put up with them so you can get your whatever job done or whatever it is that you just try to find a way not to see them as who they are, not as what they're in control of, which is, look at their shoes and you'll see they're just two legs, two human beings, and nothing special about them, so you will not be impressed. And you will just stay away from the people with bad attitude or negative behavior. Emmanuel says, is it me or do girls mature faster than us boys? There's no such thing. Physically, maybe, I don't know, but there's no such thing that they mature faster than boys. No. Guys are thinking differently about their desires, and women are looking at things differently and based on their own desire, and depends on how their conditionings in their consciousness is. Their desire or their hope for something that they want to gain would be different, and that's something that is on individual basis. Aldro Old, 26, male from Sweden, says, it's been 1.5 years since we broke up and last communicated. I've started new hobbies, dancing, along with generally living much better, but she still haunts my mind every night. What can I do? She doesn't haunt your mind. Your desire for sex is haunting your mind, because you're only thinking about her qualifications physically, and that must have been something that made you fancy her. But if you focus on who she is, what her persona is, what her center is like, what is her level of reaction and action based on her fears, desire, ego, thoughts, consciousness is, what is her routine in life, what does she bring to the table. If you focus on that, you'll see, well, there's so many wonderful girls out there, and they're far better, that would suit me better than she does. Why should you still be? Why? Because you haven't replaced her with anyone. You haven't had the chance to be able to offer the emotions that you have to someone else and receive that emotion. So that's the void. And then you haven't been able to satisfy yourself through a relationship and bonding on consciousness level, and also bonding on intimacy level. Therefore, you constantly, as a heterosexual male, thinking about sex with women, and therefore that constant urges will bring you to think about your most recent girlfriend that you had, which happens to be the one that you were with 1.5 years ago. It could be 2 years, 3 years, but if that was the most recent girlfriend, that's the one that keeps coming to your mind, not because she was the right match, because you constantly are programmed to think about sex and intimacy. And when you do that every time, the most recent girlfriend or relationship that you were with comes to mind. And who's that? That's the one 1.5 years ago. So you keep thinking, oh, she haunts me. No, she doesn't haunt me. Your urges is haunting you. So move on. Move on. Aldro says, you're so damn right. Merci. Je vous en prie. Zadkil doesn't have a message here. All right. Looks like we have hit all the questions here, and we don't have any more here. And so I would like to call it a night. There are 10 of us here. I hope I see 10 likes, and maybe the ones who haven't subscribed, subscribe. Do please check the channel thoroughly for the words that describes your emotional state. and what you're looking for. And if you put that on the search engine of my channel, you're bound to get 1 or 2 or 10 videos of each of the topics that you might choose or want to know more about, because we have over 1,600 videos and 432 or more live talks, and each live talk at least has 10 or 20 questions answered, which that makes it about 10,000 separate short question and answer videos, plus the 1,600. We are like about 12,000 videos or topics that we discussed, or questions that we discussed, for things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. Where do they come from? What do they have to do with each other? How do they interrelated? And of course, about breakups, divorces, and other challenges that you could be facing in life. And please do check my site, mind@6truth.com. If you like, make an appointment on Skype and talk to me one-on-one on Skype on what's concerning you, and together we'll explore it. And if you make a 1-hour appointment, I will throw in another hour complimentary of mind@6truth.com, and we will have 2 hours on that session to explore what's concerning you. Of course, you can also use the other support services that I have on that site, which is you can write a short email about your question, and I will record a 4 to 8 minutes recording and respond to you via email. And there are books that you can take a look at the table of contents and click on to read a sample chapter. And if you like them, you can order them through print, which is expensive because the books are many pages and heavy, and the shipping is included anywhere in the world. Or you can buy the same book as a ebook, which is immediate download and much cheaper, about 1/10 of the price. And please remember, if there's any glitches on any of the downloads, please don't panic and just write me an email. We'll quickly, as soon as I see your email, send the ebooks via email to you in 3 versions of each book that you have purchased: Mobi, EPUB, and the PDF file. Now, having said all that, plug the site. We all need your help to have more exposure on this channel, and share the videos in your social media, if you will. Talk about us on chat lines. Talk about us with, I don't know, with your media friends or people who are in charge of radio station or television station or the newspaper or school newspaper. Just make a report on us or somehow have them interview us, and we'll be more than happy to use that to be known more around the world and reach more and help more people, as I'm sure you will appreciate that. Having said all that, I wish you all well. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I talk to you soon. Bye for now.